Hirohito, the 124th Emperor of Japan, reigned from 1926 until his death in 1989. His rule spanned a crucial period in Japanese history, witnessing the country's transformation from an imperial power with expansionist ambitions to a defeated nation recovering from the ravages of World War II. This episode of Devils will delve into Hirohito's early life, his role during wartime, the post-war era, and his impact on Japan's modernization. Born on April 29, 1901, Hirohito was the eldest son of Emperor Taisho. His birth name was Michinomiya Hirohito, and he ascended to the throne in 1926 after the death of his father. The era during his reign was known as the Showa era, reflecting the Japanese tradition of naming eras after the reigning emperor. Hirohito's early years were marked by a rapidly changing global landscape. Japan, seeking to assert itself as a major power, became embroiled in conflicts such as the invasion of Manchuria in 1931. The young emperor played a significant symbolic role during this time, as his image was employed to promote nationalist sentiments and the idea of a divine ruler guiding Japan's destiny. The escalation of tensions led to Japan's involvement in World War II. Hirohito's role during the war is a topic of historical debate. While he was considered a constitutional monarch with limited political power, he was not a mere figurehead. The emperor was implicated in decisions that shaped the course of the war, including the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. The concept of the emperor's divinity, known as kokutai, was central to Japan's militaristic ideology. Hirohito's image was carefully crafted to embody this divine status, and his symbolic endorsement of militaristic policies added legitimacy to the war effort. However, after Japan's defeat in 1945, Hirohito's divinity was renounced as part of the Allied occupation's efforts to democratize Japan. The post-war era brought significant challenges and transformations for Japan. Under Allied occupation, the country underwent radical political, social, and economic reforms. Hirohito, now stripped of his divine status, played a crucial role in the nation's reconstruction. In 1946, he made a historic radio broadcast announcing Japan's unconditional surrender, acknowledging the reality of defeat and the need for the country to embrace democracy. General Douglas MacArthur, the supreme commander for the Allied powers, spared Hirohito from prosecution for war crimes, recognizing the emperor's potential to facilitate the post-war reconstruction. This decision, known as the MacArthur Constitution, preserved the imperial institution but limited the emperor's role to a purely symbolic and ceremonial one. During the subsequent years, Hirohito actively engaged in rebuilding Japan's image and fostering reconciliation. He embarked on numerous overseas tours, including visits to the United States and Europe, where he met with political leaders and ordinary citizens. These visits aimed to demonstrate Japan's commitment to peace and its transformation into a democratic nation. Hirohito's reign witnessed Japan's remarkable post-war economic recovery, known as the Japanese economic miracle. The country transformed from a war-torn nation into an economic powerhouse, achieving rapid industrialization and modernization. While the emperor's role was largely symbolic, his presence provided continuity and stability during a period of profound change. In 1952, with the signing of the Treaty of San Francisco, Japan regained its sovereignty and emerged from the Allied occupation. Hirohito's position as a constitutional monarch remained intact, and he continued to symbolize the unity and continuity of the Japanese state. The latter part of Hirohito's reign saw Japan becoming a global economic force. The emperor witnessed the country's technological advancements, the rise of influential corporations, and its growing influence in international affairs. However, he also faced criticism for his perceived lack of acknowledgement or remorse for Japan's wartime atrocities. Hirohito's death in 1989 marked the end of an era in Japan's history. He was succeeded by his son, Emperor Akihito, initiating the Heisei era. Hirohito's legacy remains complex, as opinions on his role during the war and the post-war period continue to be debated. While some view him as a reluctant participant manipulated by militarists, others argue that he was complicit in Japan's aggressive policies. In conclusion, Hirohito's reign encapsulates a pivotal period in Japanese history, encompassing the nation's militaristic expansion, defeat in World War II, and subsequent reconstruction into a democratic and economically prosperous country. His role as a symbol of continuity during tumultuous times, coupled with his efforts to promote peace and reconciliation, adds layers of complexity to his legacy. Understanding Hirohito's life provides valuable insights into Japan's journey from imperial ambitions to post-war recovery and modernization.